What is going on, guys? PixCam20 back in with a brand new video. Today we're going to switch it up a bit as we're actually going to do a qualifying slash race strategy guide for the daily race C race here on GT Sport. As you can see, we are in the Super Formula here at WeatherTech Laguna Seca. And I just kind of wanted to switch it up today because I didn't want to show you guys a race because honestly the races here are just so dull and boring due to the fact that the dirty air is just so strong on this racetrack that if you're behind a car, it's so difficult to try to catch up to them. So it's really important to get a really good qualifying lap on this racetrack, as if you are in the top 3 or 4, you can control the race basically and run away from everybody else that is racing in the dirty air, or ramming each other off on the racetrack, as it is a really narrow racetrack and a really difficult one to get down, especially on these really fast cars. So before we jump into the guide, we're trying to reach a goal of 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the guide. So coming down to our qualifying lap now, we're coming out of the corkscrew here. We're going to come into this fast right-hander. Heading to the right-hander is going to lead us into the hairpin. It's very important that you guys get a good exit coming out of the hairpin, as that's what's going to help you guys with the top end speed when coming down to your flyer lap. As we come down now to the straightaway, passing the start-finish line. So coming down the passing the start-finish line as we head into turn number 1, we're going to move all the way to the right-hand side, brake right after that line and the 3-board, hit it onto the banking there to help us turn a little bit as we hit our first apex and our second apex. Now, the way I know if I got a good run coming out of that corner is if we follow those tire marks on the bottom right on the curb. And if we follow that tire mark, that means that we got a good exit coming out of that turn. So coming to this turn right here, we're going to move it all the way to the left, barely hit the brakes there, patiently get back onto the throttle, as we are going to get onto the throttle, full throttle right after that sausage curve. Heading to this right-hander, which is release the throttle a little bit, get back onto it, as we're going to head into this sleeping left-hander. Brake right after that 2-board, hard on the brakes, let the car roll through, and then get back onto the throttle right after that sausage curve and try to get a good exit here as you're going to power down here on the straightaway and head into this fast left-hander. So when coming to this left-hander, all you have to do is release the throttle, but you do want to avoid that sausage curb on the inside, because if you hit that sausage curb on the inside, it's going to just shoot you out to the outside and your race is going to basically be over. So coming down this straightaway now, it's going to lead us into the corkscrew, braking right before that 3-board. You're going to brake very hard as we're going to shift down all the way to first gear. Shifting down to first gear, we're going to clip the first apex as narrow as we can, and then try to clip the second apex as narrow as we can again. But make sure you don't get all 4 tires on that green part, because if you do, you're going to get a penalty, and that's basically going to be your qualifying lap over as we come down to this fast left-hander. Coming down to this fast left-hander, you just release the throttle a little bit, take a wide entrance in there as we come into this fast right-hander. Right here, you're just going to brake right before where that darkened tire marks is, and then you're going to slowly get back onto the throttle as we come past the sausage curb. Heading to the final hairpin, you're going to brake right at the 3-board, but sometimes that 3-board gets knocked out during a race, so you're going to see that little break right in that tire mark on the bottom left, and you're just going to brake right there, shift all the way down to first gear, try to get a wide exit here as you go all to the green part of the racetrack, and just power through here as you reach down to the start finish line. And we get a 106.9. I'm pretty sure you guys can probably go a little bit faster if you guys push the car a little bit more, but that is probably one of my best times I was able to get. So now when coming down to the strategy, the required tires on this race is the hard. So you do have to use the hards no matter what strategy you choose when you guys are running this race. And from the 2 strategies, you have one that's a no stop and one that's a 1 stop. So with the no stop is self-explanatory. You basically start on the hards and then just use the hards all the way till the end of the race. And then for the 1 stop, you guys start on the mediums, run until maybe lap 11 or 12, and then switch off the mediums to the hards. Now when coming down to the fuel strategy, you really don't have to worry about the fuel consumption, as it's not that bad compared to other races. You don't want to over rev the engine a lot, as you can run out of fuel at the end of the race, but majority of times it's not that bad. Now when coming to this turn right here, you have to be very careful during a race. As you can see right here, I'm going to show you an example of something that happened to one of my previous races. As we're coming down into that flyer left-hander, coming underneath the bridge, you see first goes out wide, I go out wide, and then look right behind us, there's another car that actually goes out wide right there. And so it's just very critical to try to hit that apex as best you can, but not overdo it, as if you run to that sausage curb or if you just miss it entirely, you're going to end up going off into the gravel. So now again, The strategy is basically determined on you guys. I've been running the hards and the no stop. Some people that I've seen, especially when they have clean air, they start off on the mediums and then they switch off to the hards and around lap 11 or 12 and then just top off with fuel. But the thing that's going to determine whether you guys are going to run the hards or the mediums and the hards is that with this car you have an overtake button. Now with the overtake button, there's some parts of the track that I recommend using overtake, but if you guys want to use it whenever you guys want, I mean, you guys don't have to listen to me, but these are the times when I use the overtake button. So when coming down to the front straightaway, I like to use the overtake button here whenever I'm coming up this little hill right here, and it just helps me with the speed coming into the lap as we come into the first part of the racetrack. So coming out of this first sector here underneath that tire loop, going down this little straightaway, I like to use the overtake button right here too and just brake early and just get onto this turn as best as I can. I don't like using the overtake button right here unless if I get a really bad exit, because you just want to consistently do this turn right here the same every single lap. But coming into the corkscrew, I like to use the overtake button since it is uphill. It can help you out tremendously, especially if you're trying to catch up to a car ahead of you in case they make a mistake or they just get a really bad exit. Now, the next part that I like to use the overtake button is either before the hairpin, but definitely after the hairpin. I like to get a good boost coming out of the hairpin because you could get a really good straight line speed here and attempt to make an overtake on a car when you run into turn number 1. So now when coming back to the main race, this is the race I did without doing any pit stops, and I just stayed on the hards. One thing again you guys have to focus on is just try to stay ahead of everybody, because getting a good qualifying position means that you guys will have clean air and don't have to worry about the dirty air, because once you guys get in the back in with dirty air, it just affects the car so much and it's just so difficult to handle. Not only that, if you're racing other cars, especially on this track, you run the risk of getting punted out wide and you lose time against the leader because he's just running off with the lead going into clean air and not having to deal with racing with anybody else and dirty air. So it's very important that you guys get a good qualifying spot on this racetrack, and when you guys put all that together, you guys should be able to get a good finish on this racetrack when you guys are running your daily race C. Now as we come into the final lap here, I just wanted to show you guys the times that you guys want to be running if you guys are running the no stop strategy with the hards, which is the strategy that I recommend, but it's up to you guys again depending on your pace. But I like to run somewhere along the lines of a low 110 and 109s. If you can run 109s consistently on the hards, then you're golden. You'll be able to basically beat everybody on this racetrack, especially when you guys are doing daily race C against like higher ranked players, as I have. But yeah, when coming off to the final corner, if you guys implement this strategy again, you guys should be doing really, really well on this daily race. Not only that, you guys should be able to grind some driver rating points and hopefully get up to whatever goal you guys are trying to get, whether it's B, A plus, or even S rank. But yeah, that's why I've been doing a lot of this race here, because it's just, if you guys know the strategy and you guys are able to keep your nose clean and just run consistent laps, you can basically win this race almost every single time until you guys reach up to, you know, quicker drivers, and you just kind of have to get better on the qualifying, just find better time on some of the turns, and basically go on from there. So if you guys found this video very, very helpful, again, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. I really hope that you guys really enjoy this one. It's not something that I usually do, but again, I'm not one of the fastest drivers, but I can kind of sometimes be a little fast. But again, I just hope that you guys really found this useful, and let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment down below. Anyways, hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace out.